Sukaswarupaya Swami Tapahari. Our very, very dear Swami Samachittanandaji and the assembled devotees, we are very happy to have with us our Samachittanandaji is also known as Kamlesh Maharaj. He is presently the head of our Singapore Ashrama. He is probably there for more than 15 years, I think. Isn't it?
23 years.
23 years. He break, no? The 2-year break. He was in Argentina. There also he was doing well, but then they had to call him back and give him the charge. It's one of our really most beautiful centers, well organized, and he is not only a good speaker, he is also a very good singer. So we have a single pair, double journey. He will speak and also sing during Aarti, so we all have a wonderful time. So of course, he is so young compared to me. I know him for so many years. I know him from, what should I say, probably met him first in the 80s.
86.
Huh?
86.
86 was the first year. I think I was Tantradarak and he was Durga Pujari. That's how it started. So I know him back for 40 years and he's doing very well. Sitting level is very well received. So he's going to talk to us about practical spirituality. Now that is very, very relevant because quite often the main difficulty is we compartmentalize our life. That this is spiritual, this is unspiritual, this is secular, this is secular. So somewhere if we can bridge the gap so that, see, ultimately the growth, evolution, everything is possible only if there is harmony and real integration. So that's why you find people who are supposed to do a lot of japa and this and that becoming extremely peevish, extremely hungry, extremely jealous. All those things don't go together. That means your sadhana is going in one direction, your life is going in one direction, and that is meaningless. So we need to have an integral philosophy whereby our daily activities can be beautifully integrated, and within that, जैसे सब हम लोग आगे बढ़ेंगे ऐसे नहीं रातों रात सब कर पाएंगे, but at least we'll have a clear plan how to proceed in life, what are we to do, how our life would be one integral approach whereby we don't feel unspiritual at any time. आप भी जो भी कर रहे हैं उसके अंदर आप ऐसे कोई धारण आ जाए ना ये तो अध्यात्म नहीं है, that should not be there. Whatever we do, we should feel comfortable. So in fact, you see, that is one of the very extraordinary hallmarks or features of Thakur Mahan Swamiji. In fact, Swamiji himself said that I want to bring the Vedanta of the forest to the marketplace. It should become an integral part of our daily life. Lot can be spoken about. Since we have specially invited Maharaj, let us hear his views without imposing what we think about it. So I hand over the mic to Maharaj. He will speak and probably he will also leave a few minutes for questions if any. But then please ask relevant questions. Don't ask when did you join or why did you join the order. Okay? Namaskar.
Reverend Maharaj and dear devotees and friends. As Maharaj told, in the Sangha, in this holy order of monks, we are all brothers. Some come early, some come later, some have not come yet, some will come in future. We are all drops, so as all of you are. Together, all of us make this Ramakrishna movement. We are all part of this movement. And this movement is made of all individuals. So whatever you do in your personal capacity or in a social responsibility adds on to the force and power of this movement. As Mara suggested and told, I was very fortunate. Later on, of course, I felt my 2 years spending in Argentina, altogether a new experience. After I left there, Maharaj visited that place. Apparently, just opposite to Singapore. Scarcity of everything, scarcity of money, scarcity of devotees, not many devotees. Safety security is an issue. I have found only one Indian family there, remaining all are Spanish, Catholic, white skinned South Americans. But what I found in them, probably that's why I was posted there, their devotion to Thakur, maybe credit goes to the Swamis who stayed there for last 95 years. Very interesting. So that if anything comes in between, I will talk about. Why I raised this topic was that it was in 2017 when I was there, every day seeing the life there, I started to realize what Swamiji says. The practicalization of philosophy, dry philosophical principles, if cannot be put in practice, cannot be utilized in my day-to-day life, then it becomes intellectual exercises of some professorial people. But as Maharaj told, the Swamiji wanted that philosophy to come in midst of the marketplace. A common man should know that he is nothing less than what even a great saints are. And this is the contribution of Vedanta to common people. We are also common. For us, this is the only hope. Socially, physically, intellectually, we all are different. Our levels are different. But there is spiritually where we meet. And we all come from the same, we will go back to the same. Many times while talking to devotees, we say, devotees here, I mean those who are, particularly those who are initiated into mantra diksha in our order, or any other order, so to say, but mainly in our order. There is no separate God for householders and monks. God is the same. Probably the mantra which we repeat also could be the same. Spiritual ideal is the same. Spiritual life starts with purity and ends with purity. Purity of mind, purity of body, purity of intellect, purity of purpose, purity of intentions. Our life starts from there and ends there. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitra me vidyate. There is nothing purer than knowledge. And to reach or achieve that knowledge is the goal of life of all of us. So, the practicalization of the philosophical ideas in different levels of our life. As I told, we are not equals. Some are emotional, some are intellectual, some are dynamic, some are meditative, some are form-oriented, some are name-oriented. Name and form, I mean God. Sometimes people will say, I am doing japa for last so many years, I feel I am doing mechanically. We have a great Swami, our Vice President, Swami Bhajanandaji used to tell in our class that name and form of God. Our mind is made of something, our built-up is name-oriented, form-oriented, could be in percentage. Those who are form-oriented like to meditate more on the form of God. Those who are name-oriented, they like to repeat the mantra more. While repeating the mantra, they remember the form of God. While meditating on form of God, they remember the mantra. But it is the predominance of that. So practical spirituality, many concepts are there. We will go a little fast as we have about 45 to 50 minutes. So, great Swami who stayed in Argentina first, Swami Vijayanandaji, used to say to the devotees, this is the first is a Spanish word, hacer algo, H is silent. Do something. Spirituality is not scholarship. Have you seen people going and falling at the feet of a professor in the university? But rather people will like to fall in feet of a itinerant, unlettered could be a monk who sits and meditates. Because at least he has understood and renounced something. Intellectual understanding is good, but it is of no use if you can't practicalize it. So religion is, these are all common ideas. Maybe, let me confess, not many ideas will be new to you. Maybe the way I put could be something new. So it is not reading, it's not acknowledging as Swamiji says. It is not mugging up something and pouring in front of you as scholarship or as information which we have from scriptures. So spiritual life is in practicing spirituality. I remember reminiscences of one great Swami. He used to say, Maharaj, say something. He said, nothing to say. Everything is printed in the book. What is left is in doing. No new information is required. What we know need to be practiced. Now, we all want to be spiritual. But everywhere you need eligibility. I'm a monk, maybe last 40 years I am in the order. I go to the university and say I want to do doctorate. They say, Swamiji, thank you, but you cannot. You must be masters first. There's eligibility to do doctorate. Everything is eligible, why not spiritual life? Clarity of goal, what I want in my life. Maybe the last point, let me tell first. We plan everything. I came to India, say, for 8-9 days. Where I will go, where I will get down, who will receive me, where I will eat. All I plan. Why don't I plan my life? All of us know, sorry that I will be a little candid in my expressions and telling. You didn't decide where you will be born. You didn't select your parents, you didn't select the country, you didn't select the city. Mostly we will not select even the place and time when we will die. In between these two uncertainties, we think everything we decide, how it is. Since childhood, did I know that I will become a monk? No. Did you know you will become software engineer or something? No. One thing unknowingly we knew, and all of us knew, is that one day I will die. Nothing of our life we knew when we were children. But one thing unknowingly or knowingly, clearly or not, we knew that we will die one day. And this death is very interesting. People don't think, they think it's a taboo to think, but this is only certain thing. And we should think about it. I am not telling that. Swamiji says, one who will remember death will understand my teachings better. Swami. Why? Today morning I was talking to some friends. As we live our life, everything I want. Along with that little spirituality also I want. Nothing wrong about it. But then your life becomes God-flavored life. Until our life becomes God-centered life, you don't have eligibility to progress in spirituality. We may give consolation to each other. We should encourage each other, that's fine, but truth remains. And what is death? Suddenly, whatever you think is important, suddenly becomes zero, suddenly becomes unimportant. To become spiritual, we say in this modern world, one question we should ask, if not every day, at least intermittently sometimes, why do I do what I do? What I do has a very small span of life. It doesn't contribute into my goal. I give importance everything to this world. If I kick the bucket tomorrow, if I die tomorrow, everything what I give importance becomes immaterial to me. Maybe you can think, okay, what you do will remain in the world. That's fine. But what about you? That's why Swamiji says, before the nature snatches away everything from you, renounce voluntarily. Renunciation doesn't mean you have to renounce all your property and house and anything, not from that point of view. Renunciation, internal renunciation is Krishna portrays. So, clarity of goal is required, what I want in my spiritual life. People feel I am a religious and spiritual person, but I can lead any kind of life. Sorry, no. It is said, Kathopanishad says, if basic morality is not there, on that spiritual superstructure cannot be constructed. Do you think this 6-story building can be constructed without foundation? Basic morality is the foundation. If we are not good morally, it's a dream that I want to become spiritual. Kindness and compassion becomes our nature. Not that we practice sometimes, but it should be part of our nature. Service attitude, interest in scriptures, this I will come a little more. The study of scriptures, not reading but studying. Today morning, when devotee gentleman was studying, Swamiji, I read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I said that was a simple reading. Maybe you remember 1 or 2, 4, 5 points. Now you read it again with a pen, with a highlighter in your hand. Once you have read, now you study. Study with a purpose. What I want from this book. We don't have much time. Many of you have heard it. There is something called Anubandha Chatushtaya. The 4 points we should consider before reading any book. Whether I am eligible to read this book, whether what I need from this book, what is my relation with this book. So, and read only the authentic books. Our life is short, we don't have time. Read only the authentic book. I will tell incident, Maharaj definitely knows the Swamiji who was in Arogya Bhavan, Anupamanandaji, Kiran Maharaj. When we were in training center, 86 to 88 in Belurmठ, we requested our principal Maharaj that gems are sitting in Arogya Bhavan, the retired sadhus' quarters. They were not trustees, they were not head of the centers, they were not orators, singers, nothing. But they have immense reminiscences and experience of living a monastic life for 60, 70 years. So we invited few Swamis. One of them was Swami Anupamanandaji, Kiran Maharaj. I distinctly remember he spoke for almost 1 hour. He said, I never give lectures. So I said, no Swamiji, whatever you like to speak. Here one point everywhere I would like to say, why authentic books are required to read. And while telling this, Anupamanandaji practically shed tears in front of all of us. What he was telling was this. He was born in around 1901, 1902. He had good fortune to visit Udbodhan, where Holy Mother was staying. He says, sorry to use some words here. He says, I do not know which stupid person would have written that book. At the age of 12, I picked up a book and I read it. Where it was written, a woman, however great she is, never take initiation from her. Kiran Maharaj has read it when he was 12 years old. And he says, Samachittanandaji told me, the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna told me, go and take initiation from Holy Mother. If I go for initiation to Holy Mother and Holy Mother rejects me, that's fine. She is Divine Mother. I rejected Holy Mother. Why? I read that book. I don't even know who has written this book. And this 12 years old young mind had a deep impression not to take initiation from a woman. He says, I am fortunate to take initiation from Brahmanji. Even Holy Mother has told, there is no difference between my disciples and Raja's disciples. Mother says. But he was in tears telling that I rejected Holy Mother. I didn't take initiation from Holy Mother. So we will lose something huge if we read books which are just written by people, not by the people who are authentic. We had a great Swami whom we stayed with. He was head of Singapore Center once upon a time. Swami Jayadevanandaji, he told me rather, one-to-one. When you read Bhagavad Gita, and when you start feeling that Krishna is not telling to Arjuna, but Krishna is telling to me. When you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, you start understanding that Sri Ramakrishna is not telling to Master Mahasaya or Girish or XYZ and ABC. Sri Ramakrishna is telling to me, this scripture is meant for me. Sri Ramakrishna spent hours and hours of talking for me. Then you will start understanding the scriptures. And that what I was telling is the relationship with the book. What I want from the book. This is one very big aspect which I came across in my, though it is everywhere, but still, people have huge baggage behind them, not being able to forgive people who would have done some harm to them. Something is there which prohibits them from forgiving others. You know, there is a place in Varanasi, I think called Mukti Dham or something, where people come to die. And you come, and there is a period of time you stay there. In the meantime, you died, and you go back home, something like that. This gentleman who looks after that place has written that you won't believe at the very end of their life, people cry. I did this to my parents. I was so egoistic that I didn't say one sorry to them, and they passed away. This baggage they continue throughout their life. So many things are there. It is better to exhaust it, better to give away instead of holding on to our brain. So this reducing luggage, and the last one, higher the journey, lighter is your luggage. The higher your life, the lesser is your emotional baggage. This I particularly wrote why? When we took sannyasa in 1992, we had a good fortune to sit at the feet of Swami Samachittanandaji, and we told him, requested him rather, what told. Maharaj, we just took sannyasa yesterday, please tell us something. So he, in his way, he was very original. His ideas were quite original. So he told us this idea. Higher is your journey, lesser is your luggage. Earlier time, people used to travel by bullock cart. So take the cow dung cake and firewood and everything you take with that. Slowly we started journeying in train. Remember? People like me or older than me, big steel trunk we used to take in the train, take food for 15 days and everything, lot of luggage. Then we came to flight, 30 kilo, not more than that. Think of the astronaut who goes, he doesn't carry even 30 kilo. This example is given by Ranganathanji and told, finer is your journey, lesser is your luggage. In our spiritual life, if you want to lead a spiritual life, your emotional baggage should be minimum. This cursing and blaming and grumbling should be minimum. Many ways are there to get adjusted or to not to grumble. Take from devotional point of view, whatever Sri Ramakrishna wants happens in my life, and you keep on tolerating, keeping your common sense intact. If you are a Jnanamagi, think everything is dream anyway, and you stop grumbling about it. But somewhere or other, we must get rid of this unnecessary baggage, which doesn't allow us to meditate, which doesn't allow us to lead a spiritual life, which doesn't allow us to sit peacefully. One is desires, and second is grumbling about my surrounding. Jayadevanand, again I remember him. He was very jokingly telling. And he says, Brahmacharis, you come to me and say, summer it is so hot, how to meditate? Oh, winter it is so cold, how to meditate? Rainy season, from where the insect come? So unsafe, how to meditate? So Jayadevanand says, for your meditation, God should create another season, is it? We grumble about our surrounding. Government is not good, people around me, my superiority is not good, my assistants are not good. Swamiji says, if everybody is not good, think how you came with them. You deserve them. So, whatever, not to grumble with this baggage, not to be satisfied with anything in our life. People have these adjustment issues. So until we be free from that, it's difficult. With all our goodness and ability, we can't progress. I remember one lady in Singapore. It so happened about 7 days, 1 week, 10 days before she passed away, she put $1 million question to me. One question, what will happen to me? I don't go to temple, I don't believe in God. I was born Buddhist, after marriage I became Christian, now my friends are Hindus. I don't do anything, what will happen to me? I said, no scripture ever said that those who go to temple will get liberation. Nowhere. There is no mention word temple in Bhagavad Gita. There is no reference of a word murti, statue, photograph in Bhagavad Gita. Spiritual life has nothing to do with that. If you do good, without that also you can be spiritual. So, then I told in my way, empty yourself. Remember from your childhood till today, whoever came in your life, pray for them. Some came in your life who harmed you, hurt you, pray a little more for them. Be free from baggage. And then even if you don't believe in God, hypothetically tell, oh God, if you are there, I don't believe in you, but if you are there, guide me. No harm in telling. Very interestingly people say, when you do not know the way, you even hear the voice of an unknown person in your GPS. And as she says, you drive your car. Think of that. God is the greatest GPS. And follow Him. So, keeping ill feelings damages your mind and weakens your spirituality. Praying for others expands your heart, makes you lighter, and you can meditate well. Jesus also says, settle your quarrel with your neighbor, then come and meditate. There is a beautiful story. Very short I will tell, we don't have time to tell the whole story. Krishna left Vrindavan, went to Mathura, never came back. Krishna had a disciple called Uddhava. Uddhava was a jnani, Vedanti. He said, what these gopis are crying all the time for Krishna, 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 emotional, unnecessarily. Krishna, why don't you go and tell them? So Krishna comes to, Uddhava comes to Vrindavan and says to the gopis, Krishna is in your heart. He has not gone anywhere. Meditate on Him. The gopis asked, tell me again. Meditate on Him. How to meditate? Like you, we don't have more than one mind. Eka hutoso vayo shyamasan. I had only one mind, and that is carried away, taken away, stolen away by Krishna. How to meditate? We have only one mind. How many people have 2 TVs? Oh, this is a very holy TV. Only we see Ramayana, Mahabharata there. Other TV social serials we see, but this TV only religious. No. It is the same mind by which you do spiritual practice. It is the same mind by which we do whatever we do. So, going one step in one direction, then walk 10 steps in opposite direction. How do you think in that positive direction you can travel more? Law of karma. Many things are basic understandings. As I told, there may not be anything which you do not know. Maybe the total could be little rejuvenating, as I gave the title. Doing good because it is good to do good. Absolutely no desire to achieve anything by my good work. Difficult but possible. Even if you don't remember, the effect of your karma will not cease to act unless it is materialized. That's why they say, beware of your thoughts, beware of your actions, beware of your speech. Speech is like a message. Once goes difficult, though WhatsApp has now facility to delete the message which you have sent. But it is one time. I told you a bad word, how to do Control Z? No way. And that creates commotion in your mind. And effect will be on me because it is because of me that you are ruining your time, ruining your energy. So we have to be careful about it. If you can't help, at least don't harm. Many people come place like Singapore, even in India, they don't believe in it. They are scared of religion, actually speaking. Why religion at all? One young man in a youth group asked me this question. We don't need religion. Without religion, we are fine. Why do you think we need religion, God, etc.? I smiled at him and told them, join the animal kingdom. You are fortunate that you have a religion. Sorry, animals don't have. Maybe religion is misused, misinterpreted by people. That doesn't matter. You interpret properly. You utilize properly. And the biggest teaching which you find from moral point of view is, even if you don't believe in God, serve people. If you cannot help people, at least don't harm them. Don't accumulate negative karma. To be free from karma, the only thing is stop negative karma and do positive so that you are free from negativity. Do not harbor hatred. These are simple things, but people can't get rid of it. Whatever has happened, forgive and forget. So the person says, forgive still can, forget cannot. Something is there which doesn't allow us to climb the next step. Here I would like to give example. Here you have 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. If I want to come here, without renouncing first, second and third, can I be here? Renunciation is not giving up. Renunciation is your effort to go higher. If I want to go to 4th level, I must renounce third, second and first. Standing on the level 1, I cannot go to level 4. So renunciation is not giving up. You try for second, third, 4th level. First, second, third will automatically will be renounced by you. From that point of view, Swamiji says in one place, that should be spontaneous. Your effort to go higher, your effort to go up will make automatically renunciation happen in your life. Many people come, you will find in Ramakrishna Mission, most of the places. Sometimes some Swamis will conduct guided meditation. Personally, I don't understand how I close eyes and me and my God, how you can come and guide me, I don't know. But it is there, guided meditation, good. Do you teach meditation? I said, no. Why don't you teach? I said, I don't think meditation can be taught. Why it cannot be taught? I said, love cannot be taught. Love happens. You can't train a person to love someone. Another aspect is the music cannot be taught. What your guru does, what your Sangeet teacher does, says, you have to bring out sa. He cannot enter into your throat and bring out sa from you. Music cannot be taught. Meditation cannot. Meditation happens. A great artist sings the same raga in same tala, both the presentation will be different. It is not copy, it is different. Because the great artists, they say, you don't sing raga, you create the raga. Raga is not something like a song which you sing. Raga is created emotion. So, it is not that you create something. It should happen. I cannot meditate. In 10 minutes, my mind becomes restless. I think it's the same mind wakes up at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. in early morning, watches the World Cup final without a blink and without sleep. Same mind doesn't want to meditate, but same mind wants to meditate for 3 hours in a movie. It's not that you cannot. The object on which you meditate, you are not able to connect and get happiness out of it. So you can't meditate. So idea is that this happens as soon as you fall in love with the object of your meditation. Nobody need to touch, it happens. So meditation happens, but the ideas can be given, the types and aspects which help. While in Argentina we did one workshop, the internal aspects of meditation and the external aspect of meditation and necessity and purpose of meditation. We did this 3-day series. So, then this one shloka came which we do in puja. One of the foremost mantras which we chant while doing puja is Narayanam Namaskritya Sarvakarmani Karya. Do whatever you are supposed to do. Should be morally good, of course. Remember God and do it. As simple as that. Some people say it, great people, spiritual life is not that difficult as we understand. Make it simple. You don't need to. In Bengali they say, what do you say? Matha niche paw upar. You don't need to do sirsasana to live spiritual life. You do simple. Life is very simple. So, this idea there, we have to be free from misinterpreted law of karma. If you know, it will be easier. This is a very interesting, and we can spend the whole day to speak about it. You are what your priorities are. When you were 20 years old, you had certain priorities in your life. How foolish it is that at the age of 70 also you have the same priorities. I remember Swami Yatishwaranand says in one place, the great Swamiji, who has written a book called Meditation and Spiritual Life, he says, at the age of 75, don't behave like a 20 years romantic young man. Behave according to your age. So what here says is that our priorities, the more days pass, your priorities changes. What was important in kindergarten was not important in primary school. When you came to secondary, priority changed. Then how our religious and spiritual priorities remains the same throughout the life? These are the thoughts which individually we can think and decide our priorities. As we grow, our priorities in life must evolve. Behave according to your age, I say, learning lessons from the life. These are a big topic. You can read about it. If the goal is clear, priorities will fall into place. What we want is not clear. If it is clear, we prioritize everything. You are what your priorities are. I was talking this, as we told, everything I have, Swamiji discusses this point also. Everything I have in life, with that little religion, we go regularly to temple, and we celebrate this and that. Swamiji knows very well this and that. That's fine. If a life is God-flavored life, it is better than nothing. But unless our life becomes God-centered, unless God becomes a priority which cannot be compromised for anything in the world, That becomes main center pivot of my life. If it is there, then we progress. This is another thing, we go very fast. You don't need to, it is very clear. The moment passed are the moments lost. What the moment we just passed cannot come back again. These are many old stories are there, you must have heard this. The bee is entangled in the lotus, thinking that lotus will open again tomorrow morning. But before the lotus opens, but before the lotus opens, elephant comes, uproots the lotus plant and destroys it. So we think a day will come when I will become completely spiritual. No, life will evaporate in front of you. Time does not pass, we pass. I give a reference, read yourself. Bhartrihari in Vairagya Shatakam, the shloka is there. Kalo na yata, vayameva yata. Time is infinite expanse of time. We come and go, time doesn't pass. Oh, I passed 1 hour, you didn't pass. You think we enjoy food? If you are enjoying food, how the same food make you old? If the same food is pushing you towards death, we don't eat food, food eats us. This aspect is discussed by our rishis, especially in Bhartrihari, where I was time is great healer, it's also great killer, etc. The time passed in remembering God is the real utilization of time. This has to be a realization, not information. Spiritual progress is like that. Serving the Lord without expectation is karma yoga, and that too when results are offered to God. Our life is short. Let us plan it. Little change of subject we come. This is a small concept which came and then I developed little. 5 senses of knowledge. We acquire information and knowledge from this world, process in this CPU called brain, and then 5 actions, 5 senses of action, we reply to this acquired information from the world. This is how our whole life goes. You are walking on the road, suddenly your eyes fall on a shop who is selling clothes. Oh, so beautiful. Immediately your hands and feet started moving towards that. Hand went and touched the cloth, eyes went and saw the price, and then whole business started. Our 5 sensory system, senses, gets the information to the brain. The brain will process it, and according to your desires and according to the chitta, we convert that into action. This is how whole life will pass. Very fast. Sometimes we say God's grace is not there. You want to know what grace God is? Sometimes it goes faster. When you feel compassionate, you have grace of God. When you feel like helping others, Rabindranath Tagore also has a song. What is that line? Sneha, Prema, Daya, Komala Kare Pran. So this becomes, you become spiritual when you start feeling compassionate for people around you. When you are happy to serve the devotees of God, you have grace of God. This is something interesting, which all of you know. It was one Deepavali time that I told one boy. It's the same picture of the boy in the same place. Same big philosophy which Lord Buddha says, did this circle in the second picture exist or not? If it doesn't exist, how it came in the photograph? But actually it doesn't exist. In the same way, because things are moving, because of this movement, it's a big subject, because of the movement we feel it exists. As soon as the movement stops, the very existence stops. All of us individuals, we are like a fountain. If you do the, vacuum, clean the whole auditorium, whatever dust it accumulates, majority of the portion is nothing but the dead cells of our body. Doctor says in 7 to 8 years, whole of our body changes. Let's say in your childhood photograph and present one, there is some similarity in it because it's a pattern. But think, a 80 years old person, put that his whole life into 8 seconds. If you have a camera, what it will show, it is oozing out and throwing out the old cells and new cells are being created. Our body is nothing but a fountain. The moment the body stops creating new cells, we call it death. Because it is changing, it exists. For example, a football team, whichever, Manchester United, whichever, what you want to say, that was started sometime, some decades before. Thinks there is no change. No players are changed, no captain is changed, no physiotherapist is changed, no manager is changed. That team will die in few years' time. Because it changes, there is a notion of existence. Actually, it doesn't exist. A big philosophy, when it says that the word is Maya and nothing exists and all that, comes from this. We don't have time for that philosophy, but actually it is so. So samsara, the word samsara, it is that which moves. Samsarati, Jagat, Hindi word, Yagachati, which always moves and goes. Everything is changing. Our problem is that which is changing, we give a mark of permanency to that. And then holding on to that, we attach to that. But actually it is not so. Everything changes. Something changes faster, something takes a lot of time to change, so we think it is permanent. When on a mountain, when excavating, they get the fossils of aquatic animals. How the aquatic animals came to the mountain? Not possible. But the mountain was there. Part of ocean sometimes. Things are changing, continuously changing. We see something change in our body, change in our external world. There is something which doesn't change. In you, in me. We all grew up. What has changed? Our mind changed, our body changed. Identifying with that, we say we grew, we became old. There's a beautiful stotra, sometimes you can chant or go to the YouTube and see, Dakshinamurti stotra. In that there are some shlokas of this. These are all adjectives given where it says, Stri Balanga Jadopama Swami, Brantya Brishamvadina. That I am lame, that I am handsome. This out of ignorance, people tell a lie. Today you are that, tomorrow you are not that. Everything is very, very impermanent. So some problem will be, is it? Just it, investment. Just for 5 minutes more. Previous one, this is previous one. Okay. So, these are basic concepts. That's why I was telling, these concepts are not new to you. But these are reminders to you in a little forceful manner that these are inevitable concepts, karma and maya. We have to understand that every action is not possible unless there is a desire behind it. If you don't have any desire, why should you come here? You have something, no? I want to hear, I want to see something. Otherwise the action cannot be possible. And no desire is possible without this ignorance that I am the self, I am the Atman. Because I am the body, because I am the mind, because I am the intellect, something more will satisfy me. Then only a desire comes and only the karma comes. So avidya, kama, karma is a series which prompts us to do everything. Many saints have told you will find, renounce the bad karma. A time comes when they do not want to do even good karma. Why? I don't like to be bound by an iron chain, nor I will like to be bound by a golden chain. Freedom definitely comes after, this was my topic of discussion last few weeks. Sri Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Na karmana manarambhat nishkarmya purushosnute. Nishkarmya state comes when I realize that I am Atman, that I don't do any work. But that cannot happen without doing work. Shankaracharya interprets and says that means karmana arambhat nishkarmyam purushosnute. You start doing work, purify your mind, then only that state will come. So idea is this avidya karma, this concept we need to understand. Sometimes somebody asks me, very interesting, how many years you are in this order? At that time, whatever, 24, 25 years. What did you get by joining this order? My first answer was, I have seen exceptionally great human beings which otherwise I would not have seen. Secondly, few concepts which came through the monks but are from the scriptures. And this is one of the great concepts of subject and object. The basis of spiritual life, basis of Vedanta, all comes into it. But every slide is a you need to spend 1 hour to discuss it. So we go a little faster. So this dynamic spiritual life, in nutshell, is plant spiritual life. The way is the holy company and seclusion, and Sri Ramakrishna says, Sadhu Sangha and Nirjan Vas. Purascharana. All of you know that? Purascharana concept. Pura is to complete, charana is a step. If you are doing 2 malas in a day, increase it. Okay, today I will do 3, and you complete 3. That is called Purascharana. Then 3 can become 30, 30 can become 300 if you want. But to decide a goal, again Swamiji's teaching is very important here. Do not decide a goal which you cannot achieve. Do not decide a goal which you don't need to put any effort to achieve. What in English they call? To pushing the envelope. You fix a goal which you can complete with little effort. Not that which you cannot reach. Impossible, ideal is not healthy. Intellectual study, many places you would have heard, intellectual conviction if half the battle won. But that requires your intellect to study the scriptures, etc. Not reading but studying, study with a purpose, etc. Read only authentic. Our life is short-lived. So that was in some little idea I put together. What happens when we do a retreat or something and we select a topic and then 4 or 5 hours we talk about the same with different aspects. We have 2-3 monks there, so everybody will speak from there. But this practical spiritual practice is one subject should be where instead of theoretical knowledge, which is information about the scriptures and the principles, unless we practicalize it, unless we make it our own, this concept of making our own, Sri Ramakrishna had a disciple, Gopal. Sri Ramakrishna told, whatever in spiritual life is to be achieved is achieved by Gopal and Ma. Swamiji confirmed it, but still Gopal and Ma was doing japa. So some devotees say, you have achieved everything. So he said, when my Gopal says, means Ramakrishna, when my Gopal says that I have achieved, I must have achieved. Now let me understand that I have achieved that. For that also I must do spiritual practices. She was so much adept, so much spontaneous, original, natural in doing japa, that even when she is sleeping, her hands will be doing japa. This is there in the book. So people, not only monastics but also householder disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, one thing common in all of them was that they made their life God-centered life, not God-flavored life, with little flavor of God in our life. No. So there are some ideas, and sometimes we get chance, we shall discuss. Once we took this idea, we discussed for 3 days about Sri Ramakrishna. This we did in Malaysia. Sri Ramakrishna as a person, talk about Sri Ramakrishna as a person, or human aspect of Sri Ramakrishna. Then Sri Ramakrishna is a prophet. About Sri Ramakrishna's being an incarnation or a divine person and all his spiritual qualities and realizations, etc. And the third was Sri Ramakrishna as a principle. You will just see all the hymns written by disciples, let it be Swamiji or Avidanandaji, in no way Sri Ramakrishna is considered anyway less than the truth, Parabrahman. All the aspect of Nirguna Brahman is put on Sri Ramakrishna and explained that Sri Ramakrishna's real nature is that. These are the topic, as Holy Mother says, as you keep on handling the flowers, you automatically get fragrance of the flowers. In the same way, the more we talk about Sri Ramakrishna, the more we talk about the scriptures, we start getting the fragrance of it, the essence of it. And maybe part of that, it brings a permanent change in our life. Thank you.
If anyone has any important question you may ask, otherwise we have almost time for Aarti. Yes? Very quick. Only if it is really relevant. First I will scrutinize and then give it to Maharaj. Yeah. Maharajji, come nearby. Yeah, please, quick.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for this wonderful session. I have just one direct question. Do we have a free will?
That is not the part of this topic.
Because why I ask this question? Because in this whole presentation we were told.
Yeah, please sit down. Sit down. Sri Ramakrishna has clearly understood. We have in a sense free will, in a sense we also don't have. He gives a wonderful example of a cow which is tethered by a rope. The distance and the length of the rope, the cow has to exert itself. That's our free will. Beyond that, the cowherd has to uproot the pole above which it is tied and put in different place. So both are there. I think Maharaj probably anything important, because unfortunately we didn't have time for all that. Yeah.
What is the difference between practical spirituality and emotional spirituality?
Emotional. There's nothing emotional spirituality.
There is nothing like emotional spirituality. Yes, emotion, Maharaj clearly said you should control. Huh? Controlled emotion is practical spirituality. No, Maharaj?
No, emotion is what? What is emotion? Emotion is your thought which is powered by your feelings. It is not dry intellectual thought.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you so much. That is emotion. There is no intellectual in it. But idea is this, there is no emotional spirituality as such.
So what we shall do is, you can, after Aarti, you can offer pranams to Maharaj, and also at the time, those who have any questions, you can ask. There is no time. Alright? So now you have to go for Aarti. 7 o'clock, our timings are very strict. So all of you just a minute, let me thank Maharaj for, because just today only he came from Singapore. Straight away he had to go somewhere else, and he reached Ashram probably around 3:30, and very quickly has got ready. He has spoken for 1 hour. We are very, very, very grateful to Maharaj for having agreed, and has given a very beautiful, very, very vast area he has covered. Each slide needs to be deliberated in depth. It's always good, as Maharaj